The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement. On News Radio 570, WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Steve, are you locked in and ready to go?
Yeah.
Take your Ritalin?
Well, I'm focused. So, look, a squirrel.
Yeah.
Look, a squirrel. It's Danny the squirrel.
Danny Liedka's here with us. He's the president of Visit Syracuse. How are you, Danny?
Doing great, thank you.
Great. Hey, look, for those people who don't know your story, why don't you tell us what your background is? You're from Syracuse, right? Yeah.
Born and raised in the village of East Syracuse.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
yes.
Local guy. Had a chance to leave a few times, worked for Marriott Corporation, traveled around the country quite a bit. Had a chance to take some other opportunities around the country, but this is home. I love it here.
Yeah.
And
nice.
History, 16 years as a public official, elected official.
What did you do?
I was the mayor of East Syracuse. I was a county legislator.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I spent over 30 years in sports television, half of it behind the scenes. And
was that
the other
local
half
here?
On camera. Yeah, I was on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel back in the day.
I didn't know that.
Big East Network. I did Syracuse football and basketball, high school sports. I did about 125 games a year.
No kidding.
Up until about 2017.
How did we not run into each other then?
I know. That's crazy.
Yeah. Did you know Mark Mangicaro?
Mark and I actually graduated the same year. We worked together from high school all the way.
Okay,
he's
a great guy.
I consider him a friend.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Well, that's good. Now bring us up to speed. How'd you get into this job, and how long have you been in?
I've been in the hospitality business over 30 years. I've worked in hotels a lot, and given my experience on the legislature as well, the two kind of went together, and this job opened up. I threw my hat in the ring, and they did a national search. First time around, they wanted to hire me, but they didn't, because at the time I was a sitting legislator. I think the optics probably weren't favorable from their point of view. So they went through another national search, and they picked me again. And I said, "Let's quit screwing around. Just hire me. Let's go." And here we are.
And
so
what year was that?
That was 2017.
Okay.
Yeah,
and a knee replacement right in the middle of all that. So it was a lot of fun.
Geez, I wish we would have known, because we would have hooked you up with Dr. Petropoli.
Yeah, you wouldn't have needed a knee replacement with our guy.
So there you go.
He actually does all these stem cells and the injections.
Cartilage and keep your original equipment.
My right knee's going, so we might have to talk to him.
Yeah. That's great, man. So what's new for Syracuse, other than I can't get out of Cicero because of the roads? All right.
Visit Syracuse. We're doing really well. I mean, tourism, 3 straight years we've set records on visitor spend.
Wow.
I mean, when I started, I think the high water mark was probably about $680 million in visitor spend in this county. Last year, 24, we're going to shatter 1.3 billion with a B.
Wow!
So it's grown.
How are such things tracked? Because it's like, hey, Tom, did you spend? Yeah, I bought a soda. Oh, I went to a movie. How does that happen?
Credit card spend. I mean, there's a lot of data out there.
Sales
credit
tax,
because definitely sales tax. I mean, when you think of sales tax, I'm glad you brought that up. Tourism generates about $60 to $70 million a year in sales tax, which sales tax, that county budget, 75% of that is balanced through sales tax. So if we do our job...
Wait, 70% of the budget is played off of sales tax?
Absolutely. That's why when we talk about, you read in the paper about Destiny now, we can't afford to lose that. It's one of the larger generators of sales tax. So I know some folks view that place negatively, but you know what? If that goes under, it's going to cost all of us. So we really need to rally and make sure that place stays open.
If it could be vibrant, I tease with my son. He'll say he goes there all the time. Now he's an 18-year-old boy, got a girlfriend. So where do you go? You go to the mall, right?
Sure.
And you go down there, and I'll always tease him and say, "Hey, we'll throw on a flak jacket and make sure you're all set."
Yeah, because
you hate to be negative about it, but I would love to see that thing come back blazing with all sorts of things to do. Within the mall, including shopping.
I think the parent company Pyramid, they've done a great job over the years of repositioning, making it more of an entertainment complex.
Yeah,
and I think they're at that point again where they've got to reimagine it. I think you got the right people that could think of a solution, but it would be too big of a void in our community if that.
Yeah, because you hear something, you get scared. Well, I don't know, and you're uneasy
because that's in close proximation of where the proximity, I should say, of where the aquarium is going to be. And tell us about the aquarium. Is that happening still?
Yeah, I mean, the shovels are in the ground, and that's coming, and that whole area is going to be transformed. I mean, there's a lot of development that's going to go around that. So, Destiny, the north part of that is going to be a big player there. So, hopefully things can get straightened out. But I've got to give them credit. I think there's some negativity as far as people don't feel safe there. I don't buy that anymore. The police presence there, I got a firsthand tour of the police presence and the sophisticated artificial intelligence they're using, identifying people coming through the door that aren't so great, and they get them out of there quick. Yeah, they're doing
people
a great
need to
job
know
there.
that because
there's no question.
You hear that there was something a year ago where something happened, and you're thinking, okay, is it safe? Yeah. That's what sticks in your head. What you just said, I didn't know that. Those are important things to know.
If you went in the command center there and saw the SPD and also the private security there,
you'd feel safe.
You'd feel safe.
Yeah,
no question.
So it's probably safer than a lot of places you could be because of that.
When it was in its day, my wife and I were recanting back when the girls were 3, 4, 5 years old, and we were there almost twice a week, I would imagine. We just loved it. And if it could just get back to roaring into that era, that would be great.
And part of the challenge, certainly online shopping is right? Yeah, so, again, they've got to reimagine that space, and I'm sure they will.
But like you mentioned the entertainment, turning it more into an entertainment complex. We've gone up to that Apex and done the bowling and all that. It's great. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
No
See,
question.
in my head, I don't know, I'm old. I don't think that, and I should, because that does sound like fun.
It's
don't go bowling with my older son.
No,
you get all the money in your pocket. He was on the state finalist team for high school bowling last year.
Oh my goodness!
And he's going to school for baseball. So I said, when you go to school next year, don't tell them that you're a bowler, because there's a lot of free lunches to be had.
There we go. So who's visiting Syracuse in the next few years? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's been New York City, Philadelphia, and Boston have been just off the charts. I mean, 7 years ago, they were not on our radar, not in our top 10. Now they're driving the lion's share of it.
Wow.
I think, the hurdle we've got to overcome right now is Canada. We've seen, given all the political rhetoric, we've seen our website traffic from Canadian visitors drop about 54% so far this year. So that's a concern. Canadians make up about 10% of the tourism economy. So that's $120 million
what part of Canada
a year.
do they come from? Is it mainly Ontario or is it Quebec?
Lion's share is Ottawa, is like a sister city, and into Quebec a little bit. Not much from Toronto, just because you've got, if you're playing shuffleboard, you got Buffalo and Rochester as blockers there.
Right. So the highway being, we talked about being changed and everything, is that going to help or hinder getting people to say, hey, there's Syracuse?
Our job's got to be to counter that you may be inconvenienced. It's going to cost you an extra 10 minutes and have a little fun with it, right? It's short-term pain.
I was just going to say it's got to be short-term gain, right?
And I don't think any of those delays is think of people coming from New York. An extra 10 minutes is a big deal.
Right.
So that's how we're going to play it, and we're going to try to take advantage of getting people off of 81, maybe coming from the south to visit some of the smaller towns, the farms, and the agritourism that's along the way. So that's our mission over the course of this project.
Good.
Just stop in Syracuse.
And just really quickly, day to day, are you like making outbound phone calls to people to come here? Is that the way it works?
Our sales team that goes after conventions, sporting events, that's their job. We have 3 guys on that, 4 people on that team, international tours, things of that nature. They make those calls all day long. Then the rest of my team, we're in the movie business as well, attracting movies. Yeah. And then the rest of the team is marketing. So it's a real great group of talent. I'm very lucky to lead them.
Visit Syracuse.com or .org.com?
Visit Syracuse.com.
Visit Syracuse.com, all the info, and thanks for coming in today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.